We will continue now with the situation in Romania. These are the results that I obtained together with my team, Simona, Șimon, Marcela, Fărcașiu, and Annamaria, Kilyeni, from Politehnica University of Timișoara. This is the structure of my presentation. In the first part, I will focus on the professional situation of easy-to-read validators and facilitators. Then I will detail a bit the aim of the research and go into further details about the status of validators and facilitators in our country. First of all, in Romania, and I'm sure that in most of the other European countries, these professions are not listed in the NAC codes, codurile KN, as we use the term in Romanian. So this is, of course, a problem. One of the major aims of our research is to understand more about the status and the needs of easy-to-read facilitators and validators in Romania. What do we understand by status? It's a profile based on data related to demographic profile, general education, education and training in easy-to-read, current activity and skills. Basically, the structure which you have already seen presented by our partners. I will skip this part because I presented it this morning. Our research is also based on a quantitative analysis, and we managed to gather the answers from 48 respondents who took the survey. Concerning the demographic profile, most of the participants declared that they are young or relatively young, between 41 and 50 years of age, and 2/3 of the participants are women. Concerning the general education and training, almost half of the participants have a master's degree, which is good. And they continually improve their skills by participating in conferences, workshops, or they do research in the field. Concerning the education and training in easy-to-read, as expected, they do not have any specific training in this field. However, those who do have some training, they said that they have attended workshops or university courses, and that they are familiar with easy-to-read content in printed form or in digital form, and also audiovisual content. Concerning the fields in which they have been trained, they said that they were trained in a specific field, and that they are familiar with creation or writing easy-to-read texts, or with the adaptation or validation of such texts. None of the persons who took the survey declared that they use any handbooks for training, mostly because there are no such books, or handbooks, especially in Romania, which also justifies the need and the usefulness of our research. Those who are involved in easy-to-read say that they have been trained for less than 20 hours, which is not much. Concerning the current activity, most of them are working at a university or in a public institution or in a non-profit organization. And one of the problems we identified is that a great majority, almost 75%, are not collaborating, or they are not a member of an association in the field, which is a problem from our perspective. However, those who work with or are members of associations in the field say that they cooperate with associations which help people with intellectual disabilities or sensory disabilities, age-related disabilities, and so on. It is interesting to see that most of the people who are involved in easy-to-read activities have a social and humanistic background. They have worked before as a journalist, as writers, or they were teachers or researchers. It is also very interesting to see, and somehow we expected to get these results, that they work as volunteers and that they are not paid for their work. Concerning their activities as validators, the 8 people who took this part of the survey declared that they are not trained validators and that they have worked in usually in one project, one validation project. When they do work in projects, they usually work in a team. Concerning the activities they perform as facilitators, pretty much we obtain pretty much similar answers. They are not trained facilitators, and before working as facilitators, that means, and let me remind you that facilitators facilitate the validation activities. So before they working as a facilitator, they worked as a validator, as a researcher, or as a writer. When they facilitate such easy validation activities, they are usually working with other validators, other facilitators, but also with researchers in the field. Concerning the skills that they would like to have, they say most of them answer that they need skills for working in a team, vocal and communication skills, global easy-to-read knowledge, history, reading skills. And they are very keen on enrolling in similar training programs, and they would definitely recommend such programs to other people who are involved in easy-to-read activities. Overall, we believe that the results we obtained for Romania are in line with the other national results obtained in Germany, Italy, Slovenia, or Spain, and prove that easy-to-read validation and facilitation are unexplored fields with a huge research potential. We are convinced that our combined efforts in the next steps of the project will certainly support easy-to-read validators and facilitators and will contribute to the recognition of their work. Thank you very much for your attention, and we are ready now to take your questions either directly or in the chat area.